Alright, welcome to another Polaris Outlaw 500 video. As you guys know, probably maybe a week ago now, picked this thing up for $940. It did not run, it had weak spark, and the one-way bearing was shot. We fixed all those problems, runs perfect now, starts so good. So this thing is pretty much ready to go. We've got a couple more things to do before we finish it up. I bought a brand new battery for it, sitting right here. This is the battery that they recommended. It is a 12 volt, 8 amp hour, 120cc battery, so that should crank that over no problem. And then we've got some new grips coming for it. We've got those in the house. I'm gonna go grab those. We can put those on. We've got to get this Trail Tech speedometer and temperature gauge working. All the wires are here for it. We just have to hook it up to the battery. And we also have to put in the little gauge. Where is it? I think it's right here. This is the temperature gauge. It goes between that hose for the coolant. So that'll go up to one of these up here. It'll go up to this one, I think. Temperature. I think it's this one right here. Pretty sure that one's temperature. So this one says TAC. So that goes to, I think, this green one that wraps around the coil. And this one says, this one doesn't say anything. I'm guessing that one goes down to the speedometer down here. There's a little bolt down here that's magnetic. And as the tire spins, it picks up a signal and sends it back to this thing. We have to calibrate it so it picks up the right speed. But then got a couple of other ones too. We got to hook up like the coolant temperature gauge. So we've got that to do. Then what else? We got to change out this tire right here. This one's studded, you can see. We're going to change it out to a non-studded one like this one. I already used the Harbor Freight tire changer over here and it worked pretty well. So we're going to be changing this one out instead of this one. So we got to do all those things and then we can take this thing for a ride. I'm pretty pumped to see what this thing can do. It's just completely modded out, so it should be pretty crazy. We're going to be doing a bunch of races with this thing. Alright, as you guys know, this thing did not come with grips, so we bought some new grips for it. They're just Scott grips, really cheap. I think they were like $9 off of Amazon. And they came in like a day, which is pretty nice. We'll see if they fit on here. Alright. It'd be nice to get some grips on here. Oh yeah, that went on nice. Get the other one on here. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Got the grips on. Onto the battery. Let's get the battery in there. Oh, even faces the right way with the positive over there. Perfecto. Trying to get anything underneath it. Hopefully it fits. Oh, baby. There we go. So now we can start hooking up everything. We'll hook up the negative and positives first on this thing. Let's see. Here's a negative wire coming through. That's definitely negative. And we've got a positive right there. Negative. And positive and negative down here. we've got everything situated. So this one over here, this one says power, coming from the gauge right here. This is broken up into black and red. The black one goes to negative, red one goes to positive, so that's going to be power for this thing. This one is the tack. This one's got a black one and a red one. The red one is going down to a green wire. I'll quick show you guys, see if you guys can see. This green wire right here is going to be wrapped around the coil wire. I'll show you guys how to do that. But then the black wire is going to go to ground. So that's how you fix that one. And then this one is for the speedometer. Let's see if I can find it right here. And up here, it looks like the one for the speedometer is right here, which is broken off. So we have to combine these two together. And then the only one left is this one right here, which is a bigger switch. And that one's for the temperature gauge, which we have to fit inside one of the cooling lines. So let's just hook all this stuff up before we connect it to the battery. I don't want to short anything out. And then we'll come back and see if we've got power to this thing. All right, we've got everything hooked up here that needs to be hooked up. Let's go to the gauge and try turning it on. Hopefully, it turns on here. Oh, looks like it's turning on. Oh yeah, it's on. Check that out. 43 degrees Fahrenheit. That's wrong. Why does it keep on going on and off? Power. We should have good power going to it. Let me try disconnecting that, reconnecting it, see if we get better power. All right, so I got the wires tied together for the speedometer up here. You guys are going to take a look right here when I spin this wheel. All right, here we go. Spinning it. Anything happening? No mile per hour showing up. That's weird. All right, it's a 0 on everything. Let's take off this wheel and see what that magnet looks like. Oh, check this out. This is pretty cool. Look at that, it's working. 4.2 miles an hour. 5.4. That's working. All right, speedometer works. That's awesome. We just have to calibrate this thing. I have to look up how to calibrate it, but basically, I think what you do is do the diameter of the tire, or the whole wheel, I should say. Multiply that by 3.14, which is pi, and that will give you the correct calibration. I think you just plug that number right into there. Just have to figure out where to plug it into. All right, this is the green wire coming from the red wire going up to the gauge up here. We're just gonna wrap this around the spark plug wire right here, just on the outside of it. It says 5 times. Just gonna wrap it around. That's what we're gonna do. Let's see if that works here. Let's go underneath here. 1. That's 4. There's 5. All right, I ended up just tying it like that to the wire. I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but that's what we're gonna do for right now. We'll test it a little bit later. We're gonna try to get the temperature gauge in here. I think we're gonna cut this line right to here in the coolant and then install this guy. I'm just gonna try to get the coolant out from right here. Probably not the greatest idea in the world, but I'm gonna try it. It's gotta go in between here somewhere. So I'm thinking right up here. You could put it, so cut it in half right there, right here. Here's the gauge going in. We gotta get a Alright, one end's in. Gotta cut out about this much. Another ring in there. All right, everything's hooked up. Let's turn her on, see if she cranks over here. Hopefully the battery cranks this thing. Hoping. Oh yeah, RPM 1760. It's working. I don't know where the temperature is. 49 degrees, I think that's outside. See it. All right, time to set up this gauge. We're gonna come down to the front tire, down here, and we're gonna measure the diameter in millimeters. So this is about 20.5 inches. So we've got 520, we're gonna round up to 521 millimeters. Then we're gonna multiply that by 3.14 times 3.14, 1,636. So we're gonna come over to here, our gauge, turn the bike to on. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Then we're gonna hit mode. Then we're gonna push all these three buttons at once. So let's see here. And then this says mile per hour units. So we're gonna go mode, that's fine. We want it in mile per hour. And this says tire size. So right now it's at 1,676. We're gonna push this, that's fine. 1,635 is what we need. So 3. And then over one more. This is gonna be 5. Press mode. We want 12 hours or 24 hours. 12 hours is fine. This is the time right now. Right now it is, let's see, what time is it right now? 3:22. So 2. All right, hit mode. PPR, just keep that at 1, I believe. Pulse, I don't know what that is. Units Fahrenheit, that's good. This is for high temperature. High temperature, we're going to set to 240. So, going to go up 1 more. So we're at 240 Fahrenheit. That'll give us a light that flashes. Danger, anything over 300 is danger. That means we have to shut off the machine. Mode, good to go there. Shift at 7,500 mile, that's good. Shift 2, perfect. So that's it. We're all set to go. And this gives us the temperature outside too. It's 51 degrees Fahrenheit in the shop right now. So yeah, that's it. That's how you set that up. All right, we got everything back together. All the plastics are on, seats on. Everything's nice and tight. So everything's good to go. Let's clean up the plastics a little bit here. Wipe down the fenders. This thing's gonna look pretty clean when it's done. All right, finished product. Just have to do one more wheel. So let's change that out now. And then this thing will be ready to rip. Things looking pretty sweet. We'll walk around of the whole thing. Pretty dang clean for $940. All right, wheels off. Let's try to get this tire off. Alright, it's the next day. We got both tires on here. I spent probably an hour trying to get the old tire off. I just cut the old tire off and put this one on. So that went right on and good to go. Let's go take this one for a ride. Alright, made it out to my parents' house. Gonna take the modded out Polaris Outlaw for the first ride. Goes in reverse just fine. Tested that out, getting it onto the trailer. So that's working, and it goes into at least first gear, we know. So probably gonna zip it up and down the road, do a couple top speed runs with it, and go from there. I think it's a little bit too wet. We'll try to find a trail to ride on because we want to test out the rear suspension. It's not too bad. It's dry enough. Chuck's working on his truck. When did you buy this thing? Chevy S10, doing some body work. Little Bondo. Fun times. But yeah, we'll take a ride. See how fast this thing is. I'm guessing it's really fast. Let's see what the sprocket setup is. Let's see, in the back, it's hard to tell, it's a little rusty back here. Does this say 40? Can't tell. Maybe if some of the rust came off, we would be able to tell, but... Alright, first ride coming up. Alright, here we go, first ride. Coming up. Let's get this push out of the way here. Let's see if she goes through all the gears. Gotta keep an eye on the oil and the coolant, making sure that's not mixing. This is the first ride, so we're gonna take it easy right off the bat and then gradually. What am I talking about? We're probably gonna go crazy right off the bat. Alright. Let's see what happens here. Get this thing started up. Choker. Let her warm up for a little bit. The exhaust is so loud. Sounds pretty good though. She wants to go. She's already rolling away. Oh yeah. Our gauge. There we go, that's working now. Keeps on turning on and off for some reason. Here we go. Holy cow, this thing's crazy. We were going 60 right there. This thing is fast. Woo! She is flying. Alright, first ride done. We're going to do a quick oil check, coolant check here, just to make sure there's some oil and stuff still in there. I didn't smell it burning any, but it's really clear. Yeah, it's still on there. Oil's clear, that's a good sign. I did not hear the fan come on at all. The temperature was 144 degrees, I saw on the gauge, which is nice that it does have that. Let's see what it's at now. See if it came down at all. 67. Yeah, it's going down. Coolant, I'm guessing is fine because oil's good. Ready to die on this thing? It's pretty crazy. There's so much torque. Got the OG slides on. There's reverse too, but if you want to put it in reverse. Probably don't need to. You can probably just turn around over here. Oh boy. Don't flip it. There it goes. It literally lifts right up. First, second. Alright, here he comes back. Lifting right up. Thing is fast. We'll have to do a top speed run here pretty soon. Here he comes back. Lifting right up. You hear the rev limiter hit. It's cruising. See if he can lift right up again. Yeah. You see how fast you're going?
No, I didn't.
There's know that was it. Yeah, that's a speedometer too.
Oh. Huh.
Where are we at for temperature? $146. So we're doing good. It's not getting too hot.
Huh. Pretty fast.
Lifts up in like pretty much every gear, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The torque is pretty good.
The tires are a little bit different.
Yeah, because it goes to one way. They're pumped up differently. The back. I think this one's really.
I thought it was four-wheel drive for some reason.
No, it's not four.
Huh.
Sounds pretty good. It looks like you're going so fast when you fly by.
It feels pretty fast.
How does it compare to the other ones you've driven?
Like
the Honda 400 EX.
I like that one the best.
The Honda 400 EX? Because you can like wheelie it so easily.
Yeah, and it's really wide.
Yeah.
I like the wide ones.
How does it compare to the 450 that you rode? I think it's very similar to the 450.
Yeah.
Like, the riding position's pretty similar. Like, you're leaning forward a little bit more. Like, with the 400 EX, you're leaning back.
Yeah.
And it's like more of like a trail riding position. I don't know, the 400 EX, you have like the most control, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
This one's like skinnier. Like you said, not as wide.
Feels really light too.
Yeah, it's like you're floating on this one, kind of.
Yeah. It's kind of freaky if you turn a little bit.
Yeah. It's high up too.
Yeah.
It's like, it sits higher. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
I feel it would be really good for trails.
This thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, with that independent rear suspension, I bet you it just hovers right over. I'm gonna go try to find a trail and test her out, but I don't want to rip up the lawn too much. And I want to race this thing against probably the DS650.
What cc is this thing?
500.
Huh.
Alright, so for some reason the trail tech gauge keeps on cutting in and out. I think the two wires for the power are touching. So we got the phone hooked up here. Take it for a little top speed run. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We hit 70. Alright, we hit 70 top speed. A lot slower than I expected. Must be geared for going a little bit slower and more for torque. All right, top speed results are in. If you can see that, this is 70, let's see here, 71.08 miles per hour was the top speed. So I mean, that's pretty fast. You don't really need to go much faster than that for a quad. If we set this up differently, we could probably get it to go a lot faster, messing with the gearing. But I like having more torque than speed, like the 400EX. Things are running great though. No complaints yet. Brakes work perfectly. Everything's working flawlessly on this thing. So it's a great quad for $940. Really can't complain too much. Let's see what the temp is now. Let's see here, 180. She's getting hot. Like I said before, I think the fan kicks in at around 212, 200, around that area. All right, well that wraps up today's video on the modded out Outlaw 500. Thing is definitely more powerful than the Polaris Predator I had by far. So those mods definitely did help in the power department. In the speed, probably not so much. I'm guessing if I did play with the gearing a little bit, it would be a lot better. We weren't able to test out the independent rear suspension today because it's a little wet outside, so we'll have to wait until it dries up a little bit to take it on the trail. But I'm guessing that's pretty smooth. Everything else was really smooth on it, and it felt really high quality riding it. It didn't feel like it was going to break apart or anything like the Polaris Predator I had, which is basically all. I really didn't like the Polaris Predator. I don't know if I just got a bad one or what, but this one's by far better than that one. But yeah, that's the video for today. Went 70 miles an hour. Not too shab. Chuck rode it. And what would you give it? I have a 10 rating.
8.5.
8.5? Yeah. Stay tuned for a trail riding video. We'll have to do one of those pretty soon. And then a race video is coming up too. So we've still got the COD and 400EX in here. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And until next time, we are out.